How you doing, ladies and gentlemen? It's Pop Links, and I'm back with another book review. So, the book of today will be. I'm gonna give you a little hint right here. Yeah, that's the book of today's discussion. It's Star Wars: The Path of Destruction by Darth Bane. Phenomenal book. Darth Bane is my favorite Star Wars characters. I know there's a lot of them: Yoda, Mace Windu, Darth Vader, Palpatine, Darth Nihilus, Rey, Kylo Ren. I get it. There's a lot of them, but VIP right here. You know what I mean? He's the best right here. And basically, this book deals with him going from an indentured servant to an industrial complex. He was a miner. He was born into being a miner because his dad was a miner. A little bit of backstory: his mom passed away. His dad was an abusive alcoholic. So that pretty much sums up his whole story right there. And his childhood, right? So he grew up as a miner on Apotheros as well, which they mine cortoses, which is the material the stormtroopers' suits made out of. It's also the material that the Jedi Knight's armor is made out of. So he's been mining this for decades, right? 6'5", 6'6", 6'7", forget how tall he is, and he's like almost 300 pounds, pure muscle from working in a mine his entire life. So he gets into an altercation on Apotheros, right? So then he has to get off of Apotheros, find a new direction in life. He ends up in the Imperial Army. You know what I mean? I'm not going to disclose too much, but he gets into some trouble there. So then he ends up going to the academy. Then he has a downward spiral. Then he has an upward spiral. It goes both ways. And he ends up coming out by the end of the book named Darth Bane. Darth Bane. And the ancient Sith don't like to use the moniker Darth because that encapsulates that there's one that holds all the power. When during this time in history, uh, all the Sith reigned together, just like the Jedi, right? But the issue they were having is that they were having infighting amongst each other. So it would be a bunch of weak Sith would band together and destroy a very powerful Sith, which would in turn lower the Sith, because if they are killing off all the powerful ones, then only the weak ones exist, and therefore the Jedi would demolish the weak ones. So he was like, I need to come up with the ideology that stops this infighting. And he created the rule of two. There should be no more, no less. And with the rule of two, anybody who's familiar with Darth Vader and Palpatine, then you've seen the rule of two executed. That lineage of all those Darths that came up until Palpatine, because who trained Palpatine? It was Plagueis, right? And then before Plagueis, who trained Plagueis? Tenebris or something? It gets shaky. I forget because I read all the books all throughout my life, but I can't remember all the information. There's so much to remember. But anyway, so that rule of two that they use is from Darth Bane. That's his ideology. From his knowledge, from being in the academy, training with the masters, retrieving holocrons, reading ancient manuscripts from the knowledge from the Sith Lords and Darths before everybody, he gained an immense amount of knowledge that superseded the knowledge he was getting in the academy. And he started bringing the knowledge out, and the people who were in power did not like that at all. And he would always ask them, how come you don't use the moniker Darth? Because that signifies, like I said before, a real powerful one. So his professor, so to say, his master, his teacher, gave him the lesson. He was unsatisfied with that answer. But he could tell that the topic his teacher wasn't comfortable with, so he decided not to press it any further, which was smart with that at the time. And then from his own research and going through his own discoveries, he came across some pretty powerful things. And then he became Darth Bane by the end of the book. I'm not going to tell you too much because it's a good read, especially if you like Star Wars. But this is the first book in a 3-book series. So the first book deals with him being a miner and then him becoming, Darth Bane. And then the second book deals with him acquiring this plot armor that makes him like invincible, unstoppable. The only skin that's exposed is like his hands and like his eyeballs. Like, wait till you find out about this armor, the obelisk armor. And then the third book is, well, by the end of the second book, sorry to skip ahead. By the end of the second book, he acquires, or was it the end of the first book? I can't remember. By the second book, he has an apprentice. Let's say by the end of the second book, his apprentice, they're trained, they know each other. I forget if he acquires her at the end of the first book, or do they? I think he does. I think he runs into her at the end of the first book. And then the second book is building on their relationship and him grooming her to become the master in the future. And then the third book deals with that whole cycle of power, how the apprentice has to eventually become the master. Because with the rule of two is it's the master who has the power and the apprentice that craves it. So eventually the tables return where the apprentice has to kill the master, and then the master has to go find a new apprentice to continue the cycle. So yeah, that's pretty malicious. But anyway, that's who created the rule of two, so he could stop all the infighting amongst themselves and then really focus on their true enemy, which is the Jedi. And Darth Bane is my favorite character because he's just so powerful, and it's just the ancient knowledge he holds and the quotes he uses when he's like, I just love it. His whole MO is my vibe. So yeah, I just want to talk about Star Wars Path of Destruction. If you're interested in reading this book, go ahead, give it a good look, look. You also will get the audiobook on Audible or whatever outlet has. I don't have any other audiobook outlet but Audible, so I don't know all the other platforms out there, excuse me. But yeah, make sure you give this book a chance. This book is phenomenal. This is one amongst millions of books that I have. I just want to say I appreciate you for tuning in and watching book reviews, because I never thought anybody would actually watch book reviews. I only did book reviews because I read all these books and I don't have anyone to talk to them about. So I want to appreciate everyone who's liking, sharing, and subscribing all of my stuff. I appreciate you. And remember, you could have been anywhere in the world, but you were here with me watching this book review, and I greatly appreciate that. And yeah, tune into some of my other videos, and give a couple likes, give a couple subscribe, or just share it with your friends. But long story short, make sure you spend your time wisely and read this book. All right.